It's the morning. Good
All
morning.
right. Good morning.
It's
Good
the
morning. Good
morning.
morning. Welcome back to
Good
another
morning.
show, The Couch Show, on our channel,
Hey.
Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
All right, I got my mouth full.
It's like at the restaurants where they bring you your food and then you take your first bite and they come around. They're like, "Oh, how's the food?"
I think they do that on purpose. They're like waiting in the kitchen and they're like looking. They're like, there we go, now let me go. Especially if they see like you're going in. Like, oh yeah, this guy's going in. Let me go now. And you got like barbecue sauce. You got like stuff coming out. Like, oh no.
Some people eat in such a messy way. Like, I look at my children, they all eat differently, but I have one who just gets the food everywhere. I'm like,
Yep,
dude.
I love it.
They enjoy their food, and you can tell.
I have so many photos of his face just covered. My youngest just covered. First he started with barbecue sauce, then he started with ice cream, then chocolate. It's like I'm like, what else are you gonna get all over your face? That's hilarious. All right, so let me check.
The Tuesday show. We did not do a show on Thursday.
I was driving.
On the road, yeah.
I was on the road. So let me backtrack a little because I planned on doing the Thursday show. You know, we did the Tuesday show and we had technical issues. So explain that one.
Tuesdays. Why did we have technical issues? You kept freezing
30 minutes. Yeah, so the audio wasn't working on my end, so that was all my fault. It wasn't working on my end, and I left Zoom, came back in, and it triggered Zoom thought it was three of us in the call. Excuse me. And you said then they limited the time to what, 40 minutes or something?
Yeah, it started cutting us off. There was a timer. Yeah, Zoom's like parameters. Like 2 people could talk for as long as you want, but once you add a third person, it's considered a conference, and then you are limited to 40 minutes.
Yeah, you gotta pay. You gotta pay up. You gotta get Zoom Pro. So that's what happened on Tuesday, and then Thursday. I was all planned and ready to do the show, but it turned out that my kids had to take their state test this week. So we cut our vacay a little short, and I was driving back on Thursday.
Gotcha.
Which we could have done it while I was driving. I just wasn't sure. It was been spotty while driving, and you would have lost me a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, I have the flu, and it sucks.
Is that why you're in that?
And my 2 older children both have the flu.
Is that why you're in that fancy robe?
We're all coughing and just looking miserable. We're walking around like
How do you know it's the flu and not Kofifi?
So both of my children were tested. Both were negative for COVID, positive for the flu.
What? They can tell positive flu now?
Yeah, they
That's
do
crazy.
like a test for it. They tested for the flu, COVID, and for strep.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
strep
know that.
and COVID came back negative, but they both came back positive for the flu. So my daughter actually started showing symptoms Friday, evening, Friday night. And then Saturday I took her in because Saturday she looked miserable. And you could tell. You could see it in their face and by their demeanor. You can tell when your kid's really sick versus they're a little under the weather.
See, but that's the difference between me and you. It's I would never take them in. I'd be unless it's something where they're pretty much dying in their bed, but I would never take them in. That's just not me.
That's crazy.
I'd be
my daughter's fever was 102.8.
Nope, still wouldn't take them in. I'd be like, here's some I give them medicine, I give them some water, give them some soup, let them rest. Cause there's been times where they've been just miserable, and I'm all right, just rest, and they'll just lay there watching cartoons all day.
Right.
And then give it a day, give it 2 days, and they'll bounce back. But I wouldn't freak out like that unless it's something oh my God, they're unresponsive, they're not doing anything. It's as long as the kid is getting up, peeing, it's all right, he's peeing, he's still eating something. I'm get it out of your system.
Nah, you see, so with having my kids in school, I need to have a note saying there's a reason why they're not in school. So when I see that one of my kids are like taking a turn for the worse, I immediately take them to the doctor so I can have that cover your ass note. Like, hey, this
and
might
yeah,
be
and exactly what you said is one of the things that I hated with school. The audacity of school to be like, why is your kid not here? And like you said, I need to cover your ass note. Like I hated that. That's why I love that my kids are homeschooled, but I hated that because they would come in and they'd be like, yo, there was a time, there was one year where one of our kids, he kept having to go see the dentist, right? So he was getting a lot of work done. And of course, the dentist is open the same time school's open, right? Business hours, right? So we kept giving the letters. I don't know if it was a mix up on our end or it was on the school's end, but fast forward, the school came out and they literally gave us a letter and they were like, yo, your kid is on the max of like absence that they can have. They're like, any more absence and they're going to take legal measures on us. Like literally they were threatening to take us to court and take us as negligent parents.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, that is crazy because like, you don't know what's going on, on that other end. Like, what if there's a struggling parent who, the kid missed school because they got to stay home with the youngest kid because, they can't afford daycare or childcare or something like that. It's like, you don't know what's going on. And for the audacity. And once again, it's like, this is a society we live in where it's like, our kids are not our kids. Our kids belong to the state. Right. And that's proven. Like with the fact that you're like, yo, I need a CYA letter. Like you shouldn't have, you're the parent. Like you should have, at the end of the day, you should be the one who has the better judgment for your child. Right?
That's true.
And
it's very true.
And it's sad that the state's like, no, we're going to take your kids, or no, we're going to do this, and no, we believe this is what your kid deserves. Especially when that's now being manipulated. And this goes back to
it sucks because like there are families where kids are in need of help. They're in need of help, and these things are supposed to be put in place to help those children, but it often crosses that line. It often
yep, that feeds right into perfectly into today's topic, which is give an inch, take a mile. So that plays into every person's conscious, right? So like you said, there are kids out there that needs help, right?
Right.
So we put these programs in place, but then guess what? It's like a slippery slope where you get that little bit of power and then they want more, right? And so it's the whole like you do something for good intentions and then it gets manipulated to where we are today, where you see these programs, these school programs that are not even teaching kids what they need to learn to survive in society. It's brainwashing kids. It's propaganda. That's the reason why there was a big election in Virginia recently where there was the governor ran on education, which is one of the biggest things that, politicians say, hey, don't run on education because it's like a weak point to run on. Right? You run on the economy. You run on, other points. There's other stronger like talking points than education. But he ran on education and he won. He won by a landslide. And the reason why he won was because they're doing these programs in the school, right? This critical race theory that is teaching kids like, hey, if you're white, you should hate yourself. You're privileged, right? Like I'm seeing online, you see it on Twitter all the time, these like pamphlets that are being handed out where kids got to write out essays and say, hey, find somebody in your family. Like they're pretty much diming out somebody in their family that they're like, oh, this is a racist. This person in your family is a racist.
What? Get out.
Yeah, literally. Like, yo, it's crazy. And so he won in Virginia. He won because he was like, yo, we're going to get rid of this. And when the parents came out and they're like, yo, my kids, they're telling me something's going on. Because most of the time, and this is another thing that, us as parents, we got to take more ownership of. Like we send our kids for, 8 hours to this institution and we trust the institution, right? Me and you, we were both raised in public schools. The majority of people were raised up in public schools, right? So we grew up trusting that institution and we send our kids there and we don't question it. We don't question what they're learning, right? We don't question, we get the, hey, what did you learn today? Oh, I don't know, right? Right? That's what kids do. And, we really don't deep dive. So these parents, they didn't know what was going on. And the kids, you know, they were coming back saying, hey, they're telling me I gotta hate myself because I'm white. And so the parents were like, wait, what? So then the parents started protesting. And when the parents started protesting, I believe DHS came out. Bless you. You're right. You're dying on me. Oh, take your medication. So I believe when they started protesting, the parents came, DHS came out and started labeling them as domestic terrorists. Mm-hmm. And so this is like the extreme that's going on in our society. It goes back to the topic of, you know, give an inch, take a mile. Like we gave you the inch and trusting our kids for 8 hours, saying, hey, you're gonna do right by us by teaching them, you know, basic morals, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that we could agree on, right? Basic morals, right? And then you take it to the extreme by doing all of this. I call it current affairs, current issues, because that's really what it is. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's been ramping up for the last few years, right? Last maybe 5-10 years, and now you're feeding propaganda to these kids.
Yeah. Hey Tris, welcome to the show. Yeah, we're early today. We jumped on for a bit. We wanted to make sure we popped in and gave you guys some entertainment for the day, some positivity.
Yeah. I gotta roll out at around 11:30. I go pick up my kids from the test sites. Mm-hmm. So even though they're homeschooled, they still gotta go in and do the state tests, mm-hmm. right? Whatever the tests are, just say, hey, you're meeting the baseline. So they're at school right now.
So I have a question. Are you able to opt out of your tests?
No, that's part of it. That's part of the program. So the program is funded locally by the school board here. Mm-hmm. So it's still attached. It's weird because it's a program that's still attached to the school, mm-hmm. but it's not the school's program. So like they fund it and they're paying access to this program, but it's a larger Pearson's cyber schooling program. Okay. And so their teachers are all over the place. Like their teachers are, I know some of them are in New Orleans, mm-hmm. some are in Cali, right? They're all over the place. And but for them to show that they're passing, even though their grades are passing in the program, mm-hmm. they still have to pass the state test, the local test. Okay.
Because I know I have a girlfriend, she's in a different district than me, but she's still in New York. And her children opted out of the test. She like opted out of state testing.
Yeah. And you could actually do, like Lynn, you could do that right now. Like you can look up online school programs, mm-hmm. and there's like, I don't want to say federal ones because it's not really federal, but they're how do I say it? Like they're not state local ones. They're out of state, mm-hmm. but they're at that national level. Like they're like a national school. Okay. So you can opt out to that and go to those programs. And a lot of those programs are free. And so you can then do this online program and get your kids out of the local schools. Now, I know, like, around in our area, they're not going too radical. But then again, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in my kids are not in there. I haven't really heard from any of the parents that are saying, like, hey, you know, these radical programs are coming to the schools.
Right.
For the most part, in our area, the schools are still decent, you know. But they're rapidly, you know, things are rapidly changing. And that's why, like, parents, they have to kind of keep their pulse on what's going on. And it's sad because there's like a lot of other stuff that we have to worry about. Now we got to worry about the schools.
Yeah.
It's like, that was the one thing that we trusted, right? That was the one institution we trusted. And now they're changing up on us. Mm.
That's crazy. So like when they started doing like Common Core and like changing the curriculum, I was going to like the meetings and stuff. And I always loved being, you know, in the know, you know, like mm-hmm. I was glad that I had like some of the terminology down. So like when I was helping my children do their homework, you know, I was making sure I was using the same techniques the teachers were. But, you know, once your kids get a little older to like middle school even, that all stops. Mm-hmm. You know, like they keep you very interactive when they're younger in like elementary school, intermediate schools, mm-hmm. you know?
Yeah, Common Core kills me because it's like, how do you reinvent math? It's like math is math is math. It's like, you can't change that, but they really did it and they changed it. I feel like they complicated it even worse. Mm-hmm. And so like so with homeschooling my kids, like there's a roadblock right now in the sense that I was taught math the old way, mm-hmm. right? And that's the only way I know how to teach math.
Right.
So I'm helping my youngest, right? And I'm like, yo, why are you doing it that way? Just do it this way. It's so much easier. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, I gotta remember, I'm like, no, this is how the school wants to learn, that he has to show his work this way. So then I had to drag in his brothers, because his brothers, they're older. They went through that whole process. And so I'm like, how do you do it? And then they're like, well, do we do it this way? So it's like, it's complicated. And even that sense, like that whole shift in Common Core and going to that whole different way of doing math, like that just put a wedge between, parent and child right now. Because most parents, right, if you think about it, most parents learned it the old-fashioned way.
Right.
Like Common Core, like maybe now, has Common Core been around like 15, maybe 20 years?
I don't think so, not yet. Well, I don't know.
Right?
I just know that it started around the time that my kids were in like elementary school. I want to say like I can't say from before then because I didn't have kids in school before then. I don't know.
Yeah. So you heard the news, you heard the rumbling, but I know like it wasn't for you when you were at school.
Right.
Like, so it's that's another thing. It's like, you went and you changed this whole program. Excuse me. Like you went and you changed the whole program. You changed the whole, not even the whole, like the whole way of, it's almost like you changed the language, right? It's like now I feel like when they do math, like they're talking in slang, and I got to learn the slang, right? Just so I can help him understand, 2 + 2 = 4. It sucks that they keep changing stuff. But now fast forward, now they're saying math is racist. I'm like, okay, come on.
What? Math is math. Well, how is math racist?
They actually say time is racist too. Like there's literally an argument, and you know how it goes. The joke is black people time.
Yeah.
You're always on black people time.
Yeah.
Or Latina time for you, right? Well, they're saying that to have like structure and like boundaries, it's racist. Like that ties back into the slave master saying, hey, you need to be at the plantation at 9. And that you not being there by 10, that's you revolting against your ancestral slave masters or something like that. Of course, I'm being hyperbolic, but those are the arguments that they are making these days. That time is a white man's construct.
Oh jeez. Tristan noticed that you got some sun, right? Has definitely
Yes, I did. Sun. Yes, I did. Woo woo.
Yeah, our last episode you were in the sun with us.
Yeah, I gotta get some more. I love it. I love being out there. I love getting recharged. Even though it was funny too, because like every night I was changing up how I was sleeping in the back of my truck, because I changed it up from last year. Because last year I had a big ass foam mattress, and then this year I just went with a sleeping pad and a sleeping bag, so I can have more space for like the rest of our crap, right? And just every night I just couldn't sleep. I kept changing up till the very last night. I went the almost like the extreme of like how I could sleep, and I fell asleep like a baby. I was like, seriously? So I guess that's the way I want to sleep from now on.
Have you tried sleeping in the tent with the boys?
I did. We did that when we were in the beach, and I forgot the sleeping bag, and that was uncomfortable as well. Like you said, we didn't like, you said, oh, you would have raked the sand and made it all nice and soft and all that. No, we just plopped it. Plopped it on some seashells, some horse poop, I don't know. We just plopped it.
I've got some goodies for you guys.
Oh, yeah?
I do. I have a beach umbrella.
Oh.
And a 6-person tent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You gave us a new tent? That's good, because then I'm planning on taking your boys. I'm hijacking your boys. We got to go on a men's I don't want to say excursion, like a men's ritual. Gotta make those boys be men out here, man. We're gonna be like, like the Northman. I saw the Northman finally, and that movie was epic. Afterwards, I was like, breaking it down for the kids. I was like, oh, and you see this? And you see this? And you see this? And I was like, I was so excited for that movie. But I'm like, we got to get back to that.
I'm like messing with my cat. So my cat, this cat, man, he's been in the family, I want to say 3 years now. And he knows that he's not allowed on furniture. So like he doesn't even jump up on things. Like he just knows where his place is. So I I bought like outdoor seating for my backyard, but since it was still too cold, I kind of put it in my dining room. And I don't know if like he like knows it's outdoor furniture or what, but he's decided that he's allowed on this furniture.
Because it's outdoors. It's like, lady, you put it outside.
Yeah, so every time I'm sitting here, like he hops up onto the chair next to me, he's just chilling.
You know what it is? It's like, it's probably something as basic as he went out there, he saw the chair. He was like, I can't go on chair, right? Mm-hmm. But then he saw like a squirrel on the chair and he was like, wait a minute. Because it's outside, right? So he probably saw something on it. He was like, wait a minute.
It's not outside anymore, though. It's outdoor furniture that I built. I left it outside the first night, and then I was like, well, it's still too cold. I don't want it, like, exposed to the elements. Let me just bring it in, until the season's ready. And so, I don't know. I almost have, like, a sunroom now in my dining room because I have all the outdoor furniture in here, and it looks really cute.
You might as well just leave it in there.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm just going to have, like, a sunroom instead of a dining room.
With your painting... With the colors that your walls are painted, it just feels like that Miami sun vibe. Like you go to your house and you feel like, whoa, it's like 20 degrees different. That could also be that you're a heater.
I have the flu. I have the flu, and my 2 older children have the flu.
You like my backdrop? Look at the furniture. Lynn's old leftover furniture. It's funny too because like I go like the boys broke it down right. They put it in my truck. I had them set it up. They set it up. And then finally, it's sunny day, real sunny day. And I walk out and I'm like, hold up. This is shitty furniture. I was like, the arms all rusted. I was like, what is this, Lynn? What did you give me? Your hand-me-downs was like, yo, you didn't want to throw out your trash. You're like, I don't know how to throw this out. I'm going to give it to my brother. It's all right, though. I was out there sunbathing. I was in that one chair in the corner. I don't know if you can't see because my head's in the way. Mm-hmm. But right there, that's where the sun, you see the sun's kind of creeping out right there?
Yeah.
I was out there just chilling with my music, smoking, just getting some sun. I have to, man. I can't be white boy no more. I don't like it.
Yeah,
just the flu. Yeah, I asked that. I was like, yo, how do you know it's not Kofifi? How do you know?
Tested
at this point, though,
for everything, for strep,
yeah,
the flu, COVID.
Yeah, but at this point, Kofifi is the flu. Like the next strand that came out, they were like, oh, it's going to be more contagious, but it's less severe. Mm-hmm. Right? So at this point, Kofifi is the flu. Basically. And now you gotta take 2 shots every year. I'm not doing none of that. I'm keeping it all natural.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I feel like it's been a rough season in my household. My youngest was out of school, like, 2 weeks ago. Same thing, similar symptoms. But because it was, like, so far apart, we're like, well, how the hell did he spread it? So I don't think we got it from him.
No, but your youngest is always sick. Because I remember there was like a month, it was like maybe 2 months ago he was out too.
Yeah, and like he's the one who had COVID, like he's
right, like a few months before that, like 6 months. Yeah, he's always sick. That's okay. It's just making him stronger. He's gonna be the strongest, right? See, as you can see, look, he's the only one that's not sick now. He's like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I got that. I'm good. So make him stronger. I don't know why people are so scared of getting sick.
Right.
Like, what doesn't kill you only make you right. What doesn't kill you only make you stronger. Mm-hmm. And if you die, well, then you die. I mean, it happens. Like people are so like scared to death. Like you are gonna die at some point.
Yeah.
Newsflash. Newsflash. It's like I don't
it's
get
funny.
this.
I got so mad at my daughter. I forgot what it was that we were talking about, but I was like, "Well, we're all gonna die at a young age." She was like, "That's okay." I got so mad. I was like, "What do you mean that's okay?" I was like,
Who
but
wants
afterwards
to die
I was
old?
thinking about it. I was like, I'm just, reinforcing that idea of, oh my God, death is a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not a bad thing. Death is a beautiful thing, and I think we need to embrace that. Like, we need to embrace life, and part of life is death. It's like, yo, how can you enjoy life if you don't acknowledge death? It's like, that's a part of it. So death is not a bad thing. It's not bad. You got to get that out of your mindset. It's not bad. And then just look at life. Just look at the life around you. Look outside. When things die, what happens? Things regrow, right?
Yeah.
Things need to die so things can go on, right? And that's how it is. Some things got to die too. Metaphorically, bad relationships got to die so that you could grow and as a person and move on, right?
Yep.
Societies need to collapse so they can rebuild and build a new one, right? It's like death is not a bad thing. It's part of life. It's a part of life. I don't understand it. People are so scared. So scared. All right. So there's a lot of news going on. There's a lot of news that's going on since I've been out for a whole week. Let's catch up on some of the news. So you heard Elon bought Twitter.
He bought it. That.
He bought Twitter and everybody's freaking out. And to combat, to go against the fact that he bought Twitter, now I guess Biden signed off on this Ministry of Truth. You heard about that?
No.
Where it's a branch of Homeland Security that's supposed to go against disinformation.
What?
And I'm like, first off, isn't that gonna go against the First Amendment? And second off, wouldn't that person be biased by whatever party put the person in charge? Because every time there's like a new president, right? When a new president is elected, he changes the whole cabinet to people who are quote unquote loyal to him, right? So wouldn't that person be biased to like whatever the agenda and the party that is currently in charge? Like I don't know. To me, that just sounds a ministry of truth. Oh, that just sounds horrible. Are you promoting serial killing Ray?
I just read that. I was like, wait, what?
I mean, the logical answer for me to say is no. But then you take something like Dexter, right? Dexter was a great show where he was a serial killer and he was taking out bad people. So is there maybe a gray area for that? I don't know. I'll leave that one on to you, Trist. Oh, hey, we got a new watcher. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show. I'm gonna butcher your name. The Hobbit? I'm gonna say your last name. The Hobbit. Welcome to the show. Please comment down below. Let us know how you found us. We are open to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So comment down below and let's talk about it. Are you promoting serial killing? No, I'm just saying. Hey, look, there's a reason why I have no tattoos. Like Lynn asked me, my ex asked me, they were like, "Yo, when are you gonna get a tattoo?" And I was like, "Never," because I got loose morals, and if I gotta snuff somebody out, I'm gonna do it and make sure that there's no identifying marks on me, so I can get away with it.
Smart.
Oh, you went back to your... Oh, okay, Fuzz, what's up? You went back to your original name. That's so hard to say. Oh, from Lord of the Rings. All right, okay. The Hobbit. I don't even remember any. Do you remember the Hobbit's name from Lord of the Rings?
I don't remember their names, no.
Frodo? I don't remember. Why did you use Frodo?
No, that's hilarious.
Froyo. Frozen yogurt. Froyo.
I read the book, The Hobbit.
You read all the books.
I do read the books.
Did you read Jurassic Park?
I did not.
That's the only book that I read that was like a movie. Mm-hmm. And I saw the movie, and then it was like a few years later I read the book. Mm-hmm. Man, the book was so much better.
The book always is.
And you know how people always say, "Oh, the books are so much better." Man, like no shit. Like this thing was like vicious. I was like, man, why did they put this all in the movie? That would have been dope.
I guess that's another series I have to read.
Jurassic Park,
Jurassic Park.
Oh, the other one that I read, it was when I was in the Marines. It was Black Hawk Down.
Okay.
So it was like, it was for some like program or something that was going on, and they were like, oh, you need to read a book. And so I read that one, was like some military like related book. So I read that one and then I watched the movie. And once again, the book was better. The book was better.
They're putting all the names in the comments.
Oh,
Ori,
all the
Wallen,
all the
Healy,
hobbits.
Bomber.
I don't know none of those names.
Biffer. Yes.
Bomber.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what was the name? What was the names
Healy,
of the ones that
Dory.
went? What were the ones that were like his crew? Like there was 4 of them, right? And right, there was 4 of them. There was Frodo, and then the other 3 that kind of tagged along. I'm getting.
I don't remember the movies like that.
No, because his uncle, the one who originally had it was Bilbo, right? Bilbo Baggins. Yeah. Hey, you could have put Bilbo too. I would have noticed that. Jeez, you put in all these like obscure names. I don't know the other 3. I really don't. I'm trying to think. Sam, right? Sam was
one of them.
Sam was one of them. All right, yeah, another point for Ray. Woo! Another 3 hobbits. I win. I'm out. I'm done. Yeah, Frodo, Sam the Hobbit. I'm like trying not to like butcher his name. I'm trying to be really respectful. I thought like he was like, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna say the Hobbit, and then I said it, and I was like, wait, it was Hap, Mary, Sam, and Frodo. Bro, I don't even know those first 2. Yep.
I didn't even remember that there was 4. Like in my mind, I can only think that there was 2. But you're right. There was Sam. There was Frodo. I think those were
the
like
other
the
2.
Those were like the 2 main ones.
No, well, the other 2 went on like a whole adventure on their own on themselves. Like they broke up with the group and they went on like a whole adventure. Like I remember the whole adventure, but I don't even remember their names. And don't even ask me any of the names in like the newer movies, like with Bilbo and all the dwarves. I'm like Bilbo. I'm like, look, it was Bilbo and the 7 dwarves. That's all I know.
Those are the ones they put in the comments.
Samwise, yeah, Samwise, yeah, that's what it was. His name, yeah, yeah. But there was like the whole like 7 it wasn't 7. It was like 12 dwarves that he was rolling with, and I only know Bilbo. And Frodo. Yeah, see, they're putting the names here, and man, I don't even remember those names. Nope, don't even know. No, I gotta rewatch those. I made my kids watch them, and they hated it. They were like, "Oh my god, another one!" I'm like, "Yeah, there's another one. Let's go."
They were like 4 hours long.
Yup. And I made them watch. We watched. So what did we watch? We watched all of the Lord of the Rings, and then we watched all of The Hobbit first, and then we went into Lord of the Rings.
Oh Lord.
So we did it in chronological order, and they were just like, "Oh my god!" Especially my youngest, because he's not into those kind of movies. Like my the one that was really into it was my oldest, and he likes like all those fantasy movies. Like he likes Harry Potter, and he likes Lord of the Rings, and so he was really digging it. But my other 2 were just like, oh god, it was so painful. They were like, please stop the pain. Yeah, okay, yeah. So they were like 11 dwarves, yeah. I just said 7, Snow White. Too many, man. Too many. And then one of them was like the dwarf.
Wait, Zoom is counting down again.
Huh?
Zoom is counting down again.
What? Why? I didn't relog in.
Man, I don't know.
Well, you could do what you said last time. Instead of closing it, just shut it down so they're just looking at you and then I'll call back in.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that right now. Please
All
stand by.
So.
Well, I'm back. Let's see if Ray can pop back in now. Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White. All right, we're back. We don't see you yet.
Gandalf.
Oh, we hear you.
Gandalf. I'm back. I'm back. Back in the New York groove. Oh, I gotta put.
Oh no, Tris wants his money back, Fuzz.
For the show? Oh no. No refunds.
We are back.
No refunds.
We are back.
All sales final. All sales final. No refunds.
Due to the nature of our programming.
Yeah.
All sales
are final. Vendor has the right to cancel at any time. That's the one that gets me mad. Like, really?
All the disclaimers, yum.
You can cancel and keep my money? What the? What? Oh, man, that's hilarious. So, diving into today's topic, have you heard the latest news?
I probably have not.
Came out late last night. And everybody's crying. Everybody's crying on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Tweet. They're all tweeting. So,
wait a minute. Production quality has gone down probably since they fired the producer.
I've been asking, where's the producer, my guy? Where is the producer? Where is the producer? It is what it is.
So, dímelo, Bochinche. What happened? Cuéntamelo.
So, late last night, it was leaked that the Supreme Court is going to overrule Roe versus Wade. And so now everybody's screaming about, oh, abortion rights. Oh, my rights. Me rights. Oh, where? And of course, they're taking it to the extreme. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe abortion is not going to be illegal. It's like, no, they're going to leave it on to the states because I don't know if you've heard, there was a couple of states that have been challenging, by putting laws saying like you can only get an abortion up to like the first 12 weeks or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I believe the last state was Mississippi. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it went up to the Supreme Court, and finally the Supreme Court was like, you know what, enough is enough. This shouldn't have not been passed at the federal level anyway. Mm-hmm. That's what their argument is. They're saying that the Constitution doesn't call for abortion. Like we should leave it at the states level and let the states decide, and let the people who vote in those states, let them decide. Mm-hmm. Which I totally agree with that. I'm like, look, it should have never been a federal blanket, and it should be at the state level. Mm-hmm. And then of course, women are crying, oh, my body, my choice, my body, my choice. And it's like, if it's your body, your choice, why don't you have that discussion in the bedroom? There's so many other options. Why do you have to take it to that extreme? I have this conversation with you all the time, and you do that smirk because I know what you're about to say. But it's like, yo, have that conversation in the bedroom. It's like, yo, it takes two to tango, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't want to get pregnant, do the things to avoid getting pregnant. Comment. That's silence is for you, Lynn.
Well, I have a completely different outlook on it. I feel like it's ridiculous that the states are even going back and forth. That's even made it like this far. Like, so what? If somebody wants to have an abortion, let them. You say that, but once again, today's topic, give an inch, take a mile. On that same topic, California is looking to pass a law that says a baby can be aborted. Mind you, this is the terms they're saying. Aborted 30 days after birth. What?
Let that sink in. 30 days after birth. They're saying it's okay for you to kill a 1 month-old baby.
That's insane.
And that's the extreme that some of these states are going to go. And it's like we have this conversation, and it's like, once again, you're like, oh my God, how can you say, oh, put this on a woman's body? And trust me, back in the day, I was very for, pro choice. It's a woman's body, she should be able to choose, right? Same thing, I was really for, gay rights, and I'm still for gay rights. But when you start give an inch, then they take a mile, right? And now it's getting to the extreme where you see it on TikTok all the time. I'm telling you got to go on TikTok. You got to watch these videos. You got to see what's going on Twitter. You got to see what's going on TikTok. These people are celebrating having abortions. They're having abortion parties. These women are going out here with their girlfriends, going on TikTok with a cake saying, oh, is it a boy? Is it a girl? No, it's aborted. It's like, you shouldn't celebrate that. There should be some kind of, I don't want to say shame, but kind of, like, you should be taken back for the fact that you took a life.
Right.
And as much as you're pro-choice, when you were, when you were first pregnant and we told you, hey, Lynn, you're young, you sure you want to do this? What did you say? I don't believe in abortion.
Right.
You felt strongly about that.
No, I didn't feel strongly. I felt strongly about that because I had a roommate who had 3 abortions already. And like, it sucks because, like, if I had never met her, I probably would have made a different choice back then. But because I knew somebody who had 3, I was like, well, damn, like, that's just, like, it kind of, like, it definitely changed my, my opinion on it because I saw it being misused.
Exactly. Like, how can you be opponent for something that you're seeing that it's being used and abused?
Right. However, I also think long term, and I don't think a child should have to be in a household that doesn't want them. I don't think somebody should have to bring a child into this world that they can't take care of, they can't love, they can't nurture. So no, I still feel strongly that it should be the woman's choice.
And I believe with you 100%, but I believe that there needs to be some kind of boundaries. And really, that's what it goes to. With the whole thing with give an inch, take a mile, what today's topic is, really it comes down to boundaries. Like, at some point, when do we put boundaries? Like, okay, if it's a woman's choice, because once again, I don't want to force a child on anybody.
Right.
But I also don't want to go killing babies. And that's where we're at. Like, literally, the baby came out of you. That's a living creature, and now they want to kill it.
That's
like, at some point, we got to say, no, enough is enough.
That's
so when do we say that's enough? Do we cap it at 3 months? Do we cap it at 6 months? I don't know. That's not for me to decide, but I think we do need to have that open discussion. We do need to have discourse. And, women love to say, oh, why are men deciding? Men can't. Why should men have a voice? It's not their bodies. But men never have reproductive rights, right? Like, unfortunately, I was on the end where I wanted the kid, but it wasn't my choice. And men never had that. So it's like, why, if men do not have it, and we're supposed to be equal, then why do women get to play God? That's ultimately what it is. Women getting to choose life or death.
Well, I mean, ultimately, like, men aren't the one who are, like, attached to this living creature once it's born.
Women don't have to either.
Right, because a man could just walk away, and a lot of men do.
And so can women. Women can put their child up for adoption. And you say that men can walk away, but that's not true. Because there's a court system that gives women a foundation to say, hey, go for child support.
There's a court system that doesn't do shit, all right?
And
I took
favors
somebody
women.
to court, and you know what I got? I got $25 a month in child support. $25 a month. That ain't shit. What's the point? No, don't sit here and say, oh, well, the courts. No, at the end of the day,
but you're strong and independent.
Even if you take a man
you're strong and independent. Why do you need that money?
But nobody wants to be a single parent. Nobody wants to be a single parent.
Actually, you shouldn't be a single parent. If it takes 2 to tango, it should take 2 to raise the kid.
Yeah.
And actually, every kid needs that masculine and feminine energy. They need that. So not to knock, single parents out there, but you're doing it wrong. Kudos on you for doing it. Yes, I give you kudos for doing it, but you're still hurting your kid at the end of the day because your kid needs both. So let's go to the comments because we're blasting
going
up.
Crazy in the comments.
Let's go. All right. More people of color are passing away in the mother's stomach than born in NYC. Yeah, that's another thing, and we could talk about that too. Like you see these signs for Black Lives Matter, but more Black lives are being killed at the abortion clinic, and that's by design. Like literally, if you go through the history of Planned Parenthood, that was funded by like a white lady who was part of like this white supremacy and all these groups. So she put Planned Parenthood in urban areas by design because she just didn't like Black people. And nobody sees that. Nobody calls that out. Like, yo, oh yeah, they're applauding abortions. And it's like, that's killing more of your population, more of your people than anything else you want to go out there and argue about. But let's keep going with the comments. Unless Lynn, you got something to say? Because I'm ranting now.
I do have something to say. No, I do have something
to
say.
Go ahead. Go ahead before I go to the comments.
Because it's like, oh, more Black women are having abortions. All right. Are Black men stepping up and making honest women out of them? Are they stepping up and marrying these women and then stepping into the role of being a man and taking care of your household and providing safety and providing all the shit that men are supposed to provide?
I'll answer that with a meme.
Or are you telling me that, the same percentage of white men are, knocking people up and not doing anything about it and not being a part of that child's life?
So there's a meme going around. The meme, it's beautiful. I know I'm going to butcher it, but the meme is this generation says that there's, how does it go? This generation says that there's no good men, but yet a lot of y'all are still pregnant. So it's like, that these men are not good, but yet you're getting knocked up. Right? And for you, example, right? I love your youngest. I love him. But you knew you should not have had him with the man you had him with.
That's absolutely true.
You knew it.
That's absolutely true.
I love him to pieces.
And like
he's my nephew.
I get reminded every day, like, holy shit.
He's my nephew. I love him. He's smart. He's funny. He wants to be my shipmate when I get my boat. I love him to pieces, but you knew you should not have a kid with him. And a lot of these women who are getting knocked up, they're getting knocked up by Tyrone, who's running the streets, knowing that he already has like 3 baby mamas, but he's the bad boy, right? Ooh, you like that bad boy. But then when you get knocked up with the bad boy and you left all alone, now it's his fault? Come on, take some ownership.
Right, but on the same token...
accountability.
On the same token, like, if I go and I had an abortion, then I'm another statistic. Oh, it's just another Black baby being killed. Okay,
it's not even that.
But then look at the quality of life. But look at the quality of life that we're offering to these Black children.
You see, you're taking it to one extreme and the other, and there's another comment that I'm going to get to it soon. I'm going to get to Trista's comment. But once again, these are 2 extremes, and once again, there's a middle ground. And the middle ground is, it starts in the bedroom. Look, if you want to lay with Tyrone, that's cool. Lay with Tyrone. But you don't need to get knocked up by Tyrone. And you don't need to be a statistic on the other side of abortion. And you need to be a statistic on the other side of being a single mother. No, the option starts at the bedroom. It's called birth control. It's called a condom. It's called don't sleep with Tyrone. It's like, look, it's like you want to have your fun. And then like when you get the oopsie, because that's what it is, and 90% of that is, and going to Tristan's comment, he's like, what if the bedroom is a back alley by force? And I get it. And that's the argument that they love to use. It's like, oh, what about rape? What about incest? And I'm like, but those are the outliers. That's like the 5%, the 10%. What about the 95% and 90% that's going on? Like your roommate that you're like, oh my gosh, she did 3 of them in like 1 year. This is horrible. Yeah. I don't know if it was 1 year. I'm being over dramatic with it. But like you said, it's like it's being abused. And once again, that's the 90% of it. And the 90% of it could all be avoided if it happened, if we had that discussion in the bedroom. And I've talked to women, and I'm like, yo, why don't you have that conversation of like, tell a guy to like strap it. Like the guy's gonna do it. He's horny, right? He's horny, he's gonna strap it because you have the keys to the kingdom, right? You got the power of the P, right? The power of the vajayjay. So tell him, yo, strap a condom. And they're like, oh, because it's uncomfortable to say that. It's uncomfortable to bring that up in the heat of the moment.
Well, it's a conversation you should have before then.
Right. And guess what? The reason why they don't have that conversation is because they have an out. And now if you make that out illegal, guess what? That conversation is going to be had.
No, if you make that out illegal, then women are going to die trying to do it illegally in their homes. We're going to have children who are born who are just unwanted, unloved, uncared for. And then what?
So there's no. So once again, there's no accountability. There's no accountability on the individuals who had the child. So you're going to tell me that you can't put accountability on women and say, hey, women, let's be better. Let's choose our men better. Let's not be out here sleeping with every man we see. Because I'll tell you right now, statistically, women are having more sex than men are. That's just a given. That's how it is. For every man who has sex with one partner, a woman is having sex with 10. That's what's going on in this world.
I don't see your statistics where you even get that from.
That's you, and you hold yourself at a different standard, man. And I applaud you that you hold yourself at a different standard, but you got to look at the rest of society. Once again, I implore you, look at what's going on TikTok. These young women are just rampant because there is no accountability in society anymore. And so it's crazy. But let's go to the comments because I lost my train of thought. Rutro, this live stream took a hard turn. I see fireworks. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But it's called sibling rivalry for a reason. We got to talk about these things. It's like, I get it. I still believe in humans being positive. I still want to put out that positive energy, but we got to have the discourse. We got to talk about things. And at this point, I see society is losing any kind of decency of itself. We act like we're so much better than animals. We're humans. We got brains. We could be better. Then let's be better. Let's be better. Let's have this discourse. Let's talk about these things. Because all I see when I go out there is just society giving into easy temptations, right? Quick gratifications. And it's getting to a level where there's no decency anymore. And we gotta wheel that back. We got to wheel that back, and we got to say, hey, look, we gotta have some kind of decency. And it's crazy because I see it in the other extreme where it's like, oh, you can't shame me no more. I'm body positive. I'm going to be out here. I'm going to be so sexual. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to enjoy myself. But it's like, why don't you have some kind of decency in yourself to say, look, I don't need to do that.
Right.
Women are doing that, but would you want to raise your daughter to be like that?
Absolutely.
Or would you want to raise your daughter to respect herself?
Right. And that's.
But they're thinking respect.
It starts with self-respect.
Right, but they think that self-respect is the fact that I can go out here and do whatever I want.
No. You were telling me about people are saying the thing you saw on TikTok that was is it a boy, is it a girl? Doesn't matter. It's aborted. That's appalling. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
That is.
I think that should be banned. You can't be putting stuff like that out there. That's ridiculous.
Yes. And not only that, but you know what they're also putting out? There's group of women who are stand up if you did this, stand up if you did that. That's the going thing on TikTok too, where it's these women are going out saying the most appalling things. Oh, stand up if you had a train pulled on you. And they're standing up yay. And they're all applauding. It's that's not cool. There should be some kind of decency. And then once again, if you had that, keep it private.
Right.
Why are you letting the world know? Why are you applauding it? Why are you making that your merit? It's literally merit badges that they're giving themselves. And it's I thought merit badges and little tokens of awards was something, of grandeur, not something of I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. But that's the society we're living in. And that's why I can see why things are starting to get pulled back a little bit, because it's it's we put it in these grounds to say, hey, in case, somebody was raped or incest, or just because, it is your pro-choice. But then it's getting taken to the extreme. Mm-hmm. And it's okay, let's wheel it back. Let's wheel it back. Now everybody's reading, oh, no, you're taking my rights away. All right. So Fuzz said, after the rut roll, he said, it's murder, full stop, period. You know what? Once again, I was always pro-choice. I figured, like if it's something like 12 weeks in, I'm okay with that. But what they're trying to do now, where you can actually see the heartbeat, you can see the baby, and they're trying to kill that. Like, no, that's murder. And now even after it's out of you, it's literally out of you. It's breathing. It's living. And now you want to kill it? Like, I don't know. To me, that's where I'm like, I can't. I gotta lose the pro-choice.
I don't know. Like, I haven't even heard of that one. But,
hell yeah, California.
Like, I agree.
California's looking to pass that.
There's like an age of viability, and I don't remember exactly what it is, but I think it's like at 17 weeks, like the child could possibly live outside of the mother. And I feel like at that point, like whatever that age is, then okay, like you've waited too long. You've missed your opportunity. Right,
like a preemie. Like a preemie, there's preemies that come out, and there's people who was like, hey, I was a preemie.
Right.
And they were 2 months early. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, that and then they're still aborting. Like, I think New York does that now.
Yeah. I think New York, it's like up to 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Which that's crazy. So 16 weeks, that's what, 4 months? Whereas, like, the full pregnancy is, let's say 10 months, because it's 40 weeks. I think 16 weeks is when they go up to in New York. Which, at that point, I think it's 10 weeks, like, your baby's actually already, like, the shape of a baby. Mm-hmm. And like it has a heartbeat and it's like developing into a child at that point.
How do you feel about some of these clinics who are selling baby parts to pharmaceutical companies, stem cell research and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. So they'll go and you'll consent to it when a woman would consent to it. They go and they have the abortion, mm-hmm. and then they'll go take these parts and take all the these terminated babies, mm-hmm. and they'll go sell it to the pharmaceutical companies, and they'll start doing testing and stem cell testing.
Right.
I think the vaccine was the Kofifi vax was built off stem cell.
I feel research. Similar to the way I feel about donating organs to science. Like it's a personal choice. I think it's definitely something that you should be aware of. It shouldn't be like, oh, it's just the fine print that most people don't read kind of thing. I feel like it should be like an actual acknowledgement of, hey, I am donating this tissue that's being removed from me to science.
See, but you, once again, you have a choice. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm an organ donor. I choose to do that. I want to help somebody. It'd be kind of cool to know after my life I still live on and somebody helps somebody, right? Mm-hmm. So I have that. I have that on my license. That was my choice. This baby didn't choose that. It's like now it's being cut up.
See, you're still in the mentality of, oh my God, this is a baby. No, this is tissue.
It is a baby when it is
tissue.
A baby.
This is tissue that could have become a baby.
But California wants to abort 1-month-old babies. That's where we're getting to. That's where the slope is now, Lynn. It's not 12 weeks anymore. We pushed it out to 1 month after birth. If that law gets passed, that's where the goalposts moved. So now this is a living baby that is being dissected for science. At some point, when do us as humans, when do we get grossed out by this? Let's go to the comments. Trish said, I want to see all these people against abortion on the waiting list at abortion centers. Say enough when it's your own situation. So it's a power thing for you, Ray? No, it's more of a moral issue. Once again, it's a moral issue. Like I've always been on the side with, I was, for the longest time, I was pro-choice. Same thing with look, I have a friend, my best friend. He was my best man in my wedding. He is openly gay, right? He came out of the closet in his mid-20s when he was already in the army and whatnot. And I wish he would have came out sooner because we all knew he was gay, but he, because of whatever, society's, hesitations, he didn't come out while he was in high school. So he missed out in that thing, when you're in high school, your puppy love, your high school crush, your high school sweetheart. He missed out on that. And I feel bad for him for that. But once again, and we've had this conversation, I talked to him and he's like, he can't even get on the bandwagon with the new age, what the LGBTQ community is pushing nowadays. Mm-hmm. He said Pride, he's like Pride used to be the Pride Parade. He said he stopped going because when he used to go, it used to be about being prideful, right? Hey, I'm open, I'm gay. But he's like, now it's a sex fest. And people are bringing their kids, and people are walking around, half naked and hooking up and all this, and kids are seeing that. It goes back to this bill in Florida where the media labeled it, don't say gay, but the reality is it's like really what it should be called is don't groom. And it's going for these kids, like they're really teaching these programs to these kids at a young age about sexual situations and sexual, all this stuff. Like there was a book that was in the school that was vividly showing pictures of sex acts. And I'm like, why are we showing that to kids?
Right.
See, that's where you lose me. That's where you lose me as an ally. Like I can't go with that stuff. That at some point, like you keep pushing it. And at some point, it's like enough is enough. Like, where's the boundaries? Like, I want you to fall in love with who you love. I want you to be happy. I even want you, look, people, I was married once, right? And I would be heartbroken if I got hurt and my wife couldn't come see me. And that's some situations where, two men or two women, one gets sick and they're at the hospital and the other mate can't come over because, they're same sex or whatever it is. Like, no, that's not cool. That's not fair. I don't like that. But then you take it to the other extreme where it's like you're going after kids. That's predatorial.
Right.
It's all about decency at some point. And that's where the arguments fall apart. It's like you say, oh, okay, if you're pro-choice, right? If you're pro-choice, then you got to be pro-choice all the way. So if I want to kill this baby, so at this point, you should just be pro-choice to murder a baby. So murdering babies should not be illegal. So if you have like a 1-year-old kid and the mother murders them, like you hear it all the time on the news, right? The mother couldn't do it and she goes and she drowns her kids or whatever, right? And then she gets arrested, she gets brought up for murder charges, right? At some point, that should be legal because that's part of abortion. And that's what California is about to do. And so this is where it's like, it's slippery slopes that it's like you get me into, like you put somebody in a category and you're like, of course I'm going to support that. Of course I'm going to support that. And then you're like, well, will you support this? I'm like, no, that's crazy. What are you talking about? But that's part of it. That's part of it. Right. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. It's all right. Let's.
So what I'm hearing is that my empty threats may no longer be empty threats. Like I brought you into this world and I will take you out of it.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be able to, yeah. So at what point will it be okay for you to murder your kid at any age?
Oh my God.
Because you brought your choice. The mother can kill her kid at any age because she brought the kid into this world.
Dito, that's heartbreaking.
That's what's that. Can you imagine that was the cutest little thing, a little 1-month-old baby. Like to me, that kills me.
How do you harm that? What?
It kills me. It kills me.
I couldn't even harm someone else's newborn, much less mine. Like, what? Wow. Which is crazy, too, because they have, like, drop boxes for babies. Whereas, like, if you have, like, a newborn, like, you can just take them to, like, it's any safe haven. You can take them to a firehouse. You can take them to... a church, and you can just leave the baby.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Every movie that shows, the start where they were abandoned as a baby, it was either the firehouse or the church, right?
Yeah.
So those are the things. Like, hey, you leave that there, and you leave the baby there, and hopefully he'll find a home. Right? It's like, I don't know. I'm going through the comments. Wow, that sucks. $75 a month is terrible. I don't know what that's for. Oh, for your child support.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's actually the bottom line. You need a better lawyer. And I hate to say it, but New York is like that. You need a better lawyer. It was supposed to be, and yes, Fuzz, thank you. It was supposed to be rare and seldom and emergency only. It is now a form of birth control. Yes, exactly. Exactly. When you have once again, women have like 1,000,001 birth controls on the market. Men have none. And yet, you still want... I don't know. You lose me.
You know what? Let's go into birth control, though, because I've tried, like, every form of birth control imaginable, and they all suck. They all suck. And you can literally feel the difference in your body when it finally kind of, like...
Yes, I was going to say that. Plus, they fuck with your hormones. Yes. There's a reason why a lot of women are going through depression. There's a lot of mental issues that are coming out from birth control. I 100% agree. I've seen it. I've seen the effects on what birth control can have.
Yeah.
But
however, birth control is better than having an abortion.
Yeah, and you know what else is better?
Abortions.
You know what else is better? Having some moral decency and not be out there with every man that's out there. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, that's all it is. Everybody wants to have their fun with no consequences. And so maybe we should kind of reel in this whole, look, Tinder's part of that. Bumble's part of that, right? Mm-hmm. This whole hookup culture is part of that. There is no, people don't want to connect anymore. People are just hooking up. It's just sexual, right? There's relationships are falling apart. Marriages are falling apart, right? Well, maybe we should talk about that. Maybe we should start saying, hey, sex should be, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, because really it's a reproductive thing, but it's a reproductive thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you have sex, you're going to make a baby.
Right.
So maybe we should talk about that and say, hey, let's not play around with this. I want to see those numbers, Ray. What's your sources? I used to have sources. I used to have articles. I used to have all the stats. And Lynn didn't want to do that. She didn't want to be a news channel. But this is big news. This is big news. And we got to talk about this because this is what everybody's talking about this morning. It's trending. It's trending. It popped off last night. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it's probably still trending today. And people are protesting. As soon as they announced it, because it leaked. And that was the first time it ever leaked. As far as what, SCOTUS was going to do. So somebody, they got a mole in there, that, in the court, and it leaked. And I think they did that for a reason. But as soon as it leaked, they put up like guardrails up in DC, and within a few hours, people were out there. So it was like midnight last night. I was watching the news, and people are like just out there protesting. Like, this is big. This is big. So that's why we're talking about it. As far as my stats, you can look it up. Do some work. Do some work, Tris.
He did. If you look down further, he did. Keep going through the comments.
Look it up. There's studies that are coming out saying that men are now having less sex these days than 20 years ago. And yet women are having more sex. And so you're like, wait a minute, how are women having more sex and men are having less sex? Wouldn't it be the same if everybody's just having sex? No, because women are choosing to have sex with 10% of men, right? So they're sharing those 10% of men, and then the other men are just left down in dust. But women, and more women are having higher count of partners than men are. So those are the stats. People are doing these studies. I think Tinder did this study.
It's so freaking hard, though, because, I look at myself, right? And I feel like once I've become, sexual in a relationship, now I feel like I'm stuck with this person because I don't want to up my count or whatever. But ultimately, your count doesn't mean shit. Your count doesn't mean shit. I have deadbeat baby daddies. What the hell, man? You make it seem like, oh, well, have less men in your life. But I don't know. I feel like for me personally, I have a low count, and I also have a low
You want to know why your count matters?
Why is your count matter?
And this goes for both men and women. So you right now, you say you have a low count, mm-hmm. right? You have the tolerance now to deal with somebody new in your life. Mm-hmm. You have the tolerance to try to pair bond with that person, to try to have a relationship with that person. When somebody who has a high count, both men and women, right? One little slip up and they're like, fuck you, I'm going on to the next one. So there's no relationship building anymore, because it's like I have options. I can just move on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you have an abundance of people, you treat people like they're disposable.
Right.
When you have a scarcity of people, you treat them with a little more respect, and you kind of try to have more tolerance to deal with the relationship. So you have more of a tolerance to with your first argument to kind of make things work. Mm-hmm. To the point where it's actually detrimental to you, Lynn, because there were some guys that you were with that you should have not been with.
Right.
But you tried making it work. You had an abundance of patience to try to make it work. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you had a high count, you would have been like, next,
yeah.
next. And that's what they're doing. That's why relationships are falling apart. That's why marriages are falling apart. It's logical. It just makes sense. When you have that mindset, you could always find somebody else. That's all it is. It's just like a revolving door. Next, 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 next. And then what happens? You end up alone.
Well, I feel like I'm going to end up alone anyway.
Me too. It's just the way. But that's my choice because I'm just like, I don't know if I can put up with it. Europe, the cutoff point is 12 weeks. And you know what? That's the consensus is 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Which that gives you time for it to actually go through. You pee on a stick, it shows up, and it's like, okay, you know what? That's sensible. You didn't have time. You thought about it. I don't want it. Like, there's no ultrasounds. There's no heartbeats. There's none of that stuff. And I could agree with that. Mm-hmm. I could agree with that. And let the states decide that, because really that's what it's going to be. It's not illegal right now. Even if SCOTUS decides, hey, let's revert it, it's going to be at the state level. And I think across the board, it should just be 12 weeks. I agree with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. But once again, there's all these extremes coming out, and I don't know. The humanity in me is crying like, oh, wait, hold up. We're killing babies now.
Yeah.
All right. I just read 6 proposed abortion bills in California. No bill trying to make it legal after birth. None. The body count matters. I don't want my ladies with high body counts and obnoxious tattoos. Lynn doesn't have obnoxious tattoos. You got good tattoos. You got your travel tattoos,
I have
right?
very well thought tattoos.
Yeah. If you're gonna have a tattoo, your tattoo should have meaning. Mm-hmm. I think that's what. All right, let me take a look at that. Hold up. I got a text message. Let me make sure.
So Zoom is counting down again. We have 3 minutes. What is going on?
Oh, so all right. So my boy's mom picked them up from school, so I don't have to go. So we can keep on going. We started early for nothing. You want to back out again, or what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Let's back out again.
A downtime.
Let's back out again.
All right. Please stand by once again.
Why is it counting down? This is like all new.
It's saying like, oh, upgrade to pro.
Is it because they know we're streaming?
I don't know. Zoom's being wackadilioso. All right, stand by. Alright, so I'm back on, connected, ready to go. I can like hear my kids upstairs, like there's background noise of like sneezing and nose blowing and coughing. We are sick over here, man. Lynn, the debate doesn't matter. The pro side has won the argument years ago. This is very true. Yeah, so I actually, when I was pregnant for the first time, I didn't consider an abortion because I had a roommate who had multiple abortions, like, during our semester. And so, like, in my mind, I was just like, oh, man, that's horrible. How can she, like, be this kind of person? And so I didn't even, like, consider it. But, like, in hindsight, I'm like, dude, I was only 19. Like, I had no business having a child that early. But then it's the whole debate of, like, you know, like, once you've met your child, you can't imagine life without that child. So, you know, like, it is what it is, and I love my babies. And I've definitely, you know, I've become the person I am because of them, because I had children at a young age. Don't gloss over it. I'm gonna tell him when he comes back on. Yeah, where is he? Why isn't he popping back in here? Donde está Ray? Where you at? Come back on. Thank you, Fuzz. There he is.
Amber. Can you see me?
I can see you. You're sideways.
All right, let me flip it. Ew.
There you are.
Let me put the light on. Put the light on. Yeah. Can you see me? Oh, sweet.
So, Ray.
Yeah.
Trish said, we're just not going to address the fact that he looked up those bills.
Which bill?
The bills about California trying to kill 30-day-old babies.
Let me look it up.
Yeah,
Let me
we gotta look it up.
Let me look it up.
I'm going to start taking your info with a grain of salt.
Fake news. It's fake news. Where did I see that? Keep talking, Lynn. I gotta look it up.
I'm looking for it too. Fact check, California.
Fact check. Ah, shit. Can't look it up on my phone. You're on my phone. Did you try searching DuckDuckGo, because Google's just gonna show up the mainstream media.
Oh, so it was a misinterpretation.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah, so
I jumped
it
the gun.
says, the Miami Standard story ran with the headline, California introduces new bill that would allow mothers to kill their babies up to 7 days after birth.
Gotcha. Okay, so I misread it.
Yeah.
Oops. Hey, see, it was something there, though.
You read the headline.
It's just, that's mostly how I do most of my stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
true.
like, oh, yeah. I did say that. I said, like, most of the time, I'm just looking at the headlines.
Yeah, it says that the bill would legalize the maternal killing of newborn babies, a claim that quickly spread on social media, of course. All right, so the California Assembly member who introduced the bill has filed amendments to further clarify the language used.
Gotcha. Okay. Damn, I got it all wrong. It was 7 days, not 30 days.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, a 1 month old baby. That's the cutest little thing.
Dude, it doesn't matter. Even a 2-day-old baby, like, once your baby is, like, once you've met your child, like, who in the right mind would be able to harm that child? Like, I don't know.
But you said New York is 16 weeks.
16 weeks,
right?
yeah.
That's 6 months, right?
No, that's 4 months.
4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Math works for me.
Yeah. I want to say in my mind, I'm thinking the number 17, but I think it's after, like, 23 weeks. Like, once a baby reaches 23 weeks, their likelihood of surviving is...
Right, that's what we were talking about. Like, around 6 months, that's a preemie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? 6, 7 months, that's a preemie. And a lot of people lived, I was a preemie baby.
Yeah.
They put them in the little incubators.
Ray, you're part of the misinformation problem.
Well, then we need to have open discussions, because you know what? Thankfully, we don't have a lot of people, but a lot of people would be ringed and be trying to cancel me. And I would be the one getting canceled. And I'm ready to get informed. If I'm misinformed, I want to be informed, but I want to be informed with open discourse. Like I want to talk about both sides. And so what's going on, especially with this Ministry of Truth, they're going to come out and they're going to say, oh, no, the truth is only on one side, not on the other side.
That's what Tristan said. He's like, that's why we need a program that fact checks things.
Yeah, but who's fact checking the fact checkers? That's my point. Like, who's fact checking the fact checkers? So all these fact checkers, right? You'll go down and you'll see who the organizations are, and they're all like left leaning, you know. And so they'll go like with the Hunter Biden laptop story, right? They sat on it. They sat on it. It could have turned the election. They sat on it. They were like, oh, misinformation. Turns out it was all true. Like the whole Russiagate. Was they were saying, oh, Trump is in bed with Russia. Guess who was in bed with Russia? It wasn't Trump. It was the people who calling it.
Virginia Governor Ralph Northam in 2019 said he was in favor of full-term killings.
Yeah, that's why he's not the governor anymore, right? Then they elected him out. That was the guy. I believe that's the guy who got elected out due to the education. Hashtag cancel Ray. Oh, it started. No, it started. See, I'm just trying to have a discourse out here. Just have a conversation. It's just my opinions. I was going to put the disclaimer in the beginning. I was like, this is just my opinions. It's not even the opinions of my co-host. It's just my opinions. Lean over, Ray. Oh, no, you're taking over the show. It's just going to be the sibling show. Oh, I love you guys. I love you.
If it was just the Lynn show, if it was just a sibling show, I would seriously just eat the whole time.
And laugh and smoke weed.
But like, like those channels where it's like, it's supposed to be like ASMR, just watching people eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would be doing.
I told you, Lynn. I guarantee if you did that, you'll get more followers, you'll get more viewers. Like, if you did something where, like, you had a camera in your bedroom when you were sleeping, I've seen that. And people are watching that. People are literally, there's like 50,000 views. I'm like, who are these losers that are watching somebody sleep? Like, I don't understand that. But then, you know what? Then I saw something in the comments and it kind of makes sense to me because I thought they were actively watching them. And they were like, what if somebody's just like, they put them on and they're watching them as they're sleeping?
Oh, so they feel like they're sleeping next to someone?
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. All right, so this is like, all right, it's nighttime. Let's all sleep as a community. Which in that sense, that's kind of cool. And now in that sense, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, they're like, they're sharing their energy as they're sleeping, transcending barriers and stuff.
I think that would give me the kind of accountability I need to get to bed on time every night.
Oh, if you knew there was a show and you needed to get your super chats? You need to get paid? Like, I need to get paid. I got to go to bed. That's literally making money while you sleep. They're like, I make money while I sleep. That's literally how you're like, oh, yeah, I got a camera. You should try it, though. You should try it. I'm telling you. It's out there. I don't know. I don't think I saw it on YouTube. I might have been like on Rumble or like one of those like other side things, but I've seen it. I was like, whoa, somebody's sleeping? And there's a whole comment. Rumble? No, Rumble's like a video platform, I think.
Bumble?
Bumble is a dating app.
Okay.
Rumble's like a video thing. Speaking of apps, aren't you on a TikTok alternative? How's that going?
I am. I'm on Rizzle. I actually haven't been too active lately, but I keep getting notifications that I'm getting more followers.
You should go back on there because
the content I've already put out there is pretty good. So I like Rizzle. Rizzle is different than TikTok in that there's no comments. Like if you want to react to a video, you actually have to record yourself, and that's what you post.
Right. So, you told me that. I think that's a neat concept.
Right, and you know what?
It makes more interaction.
Accountability.
Yes.
People aren't gonna like put their face out there and be nasty and be mean. So it's actually creating a very positive community. Yeah, and it's just people putting out random things that they do. Like, there's a lot of, like, people who do, like, skits, and they try and do, like, little movie clip kind of things. I watch a lot of people who are from, I don't know what country they're in, but they're in a different country, and it's just a neat perspective. Like, it's an inside look at life in other places. There's like one lady I follow where she's like always showing like the things she's cooking, and like her food's always so vibrant, and it's definitely different ingredients than we use here.
Mm-hmm. No, that's really cool. And I going back to what you were saying, and this goes back to the whole cancel culture. Like a lot of people who are getting attacked, like they're like, hey, look, meet me as a, let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. And then, the other side who is attacking them, like, oh, let's cancel them. They don't want to do that.
Right.
Because they don't want to humanify, like they don't want to personify and see the human qualities in the person they're attacking. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it goes back to what you were saying, where like they have, you got to put a video in your response. And like when you do your face out there, it's like most, okay, well, no, this day and age, people have no decency. So they might, because that's the way, there's no accountability in this day and age. So it's like, they go out there, So, no, it's cool. I like it. I like the concept of the app, and I think you should go back on it. Because I think you liked it, too. You were really, especially when you know what it was? It was like you were drawn to people's responding to you. Mm-hmm. And when people were saying the nice comments, you were like, it was like charging you. So I think you should go back and do that again.
Yeah.
Especially if you're getting followers. That's weird. You haven't posted, you're still getting followers?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that I sub to your channel on YouTube, and I'm always getting like a recommendation to watch your videos. Mm-hmm. And like your one video hit the 2-year mark.
Really?
Yeah, like you posted a video, I believe it was around for COVID, like COVID with kids. Okay. And like it keeps popping up, and it finally hit the 2-year mark. So you should go back to your channels. It's funny because you're always like, I don't know what to post. I'm like, post whatever you want.
Right.
You'll figure it out. You just got to be consistent.
Consistently post.
Consistently post, yes.
Oh my God. Did I tell you guys I hurt my hand? It hurts so bad. You can't even see it. Oh, that's BS.
What'd you do?
Look. You see my scabs on my fingers?
What did you do?
On my knuckles? I was moving my bed, and my bed got caught on, like, my tile, because, like, I have tile floors. So, I guess, like, one tile was just uneven, and it was caught. So I had to lift my bed to push it back. And I did it, like, forcefully, and then my finger got scraped on, like, a piece of wood I had underneath my bed. Like, it was bad. It was bleeding. It hurt so bad. Mm-hmm. So, since it's on my knuckles, it kind of hurts to squeeze my hand. So I've just kind of been doing this for days. So I have the flu, and my hand is all messed up.
Beds are the most dangerous thing. I swear. Other than, like, bathtubs, because bathtubs, like, that's like the number one place where people die.
What?
Like they slip in the bathtub, they hurt their head, and they die.
Okay.
I believe that's how, like, I don't want to be misquoted here, but what the rumblings I heard was I think that's how Bob Saget died. Like, he hit his head, and I think he might have been in the bathroom. Okay. But, yeah, it's like the bathroom is the number one place, but I think the bedroom is really dangerous because I have a scar. Like, I was when I was actually with my dad, I was at his house, and he had those metal frames, and I got scratched, and that's like a scar that I have above on my knee. And then my oldest, turns out he has the same thing. I'm like, how'd you get that? Same way. He did it at his mom's house. I was like, oh shit. So I was like, yo, this is crazy. But yeah, beds are dangerous. I hurt myself over my vacay too.
Dude, there was an Airbnb we stayed at in Puerto Rico that you would sit on the edge of the bed and, like, the entire mattress would go up. Like, it was horrible. It was like, the seesaw effect.
Yeah.
I wrote them such a bad review, man. That was bullshit that I paid what I paid for that Airbnb.
Well, on my trip, I was trying to be young again and be like the kids. And so my oldest, he outgrew his scooter. So I got him a recent, really good scooter so that it can grow with him as he keeps getting taller. And so I was like, oh, he's kind of cool. So I ordered me one. And so we're over here, I'm scooting, and I'm like thinking, oh, these got big wheels. They can go off-roading. Nope. I face planted into the rocks.
Rocks of all things.
Yeah,
What the hell?
And oh man, I mean, my boys, I love my boys because they're always like, oh my God, Daddy, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh no, they're so worried about it. I'm like, yeah, I'll live. And then in the pool, so when we were in the Outer Banks, I specifically found a campsite that had a heated pool and a hot tub. So, it was cold out there, but we were all in the pool anyway. And so it was like late at night. There was nobody else in the pool. It was just us. And I ended up getting my iPad and we were watching, wrestling from my iPad on the little table as we're in the hot tub. And so we were all just fighting in the hot tub and I scraped my knee on the side. I don't know why do pools got that like really hard rock thing that really freaking scratches the shit out of you. These pools are dangerous.
They sure are. That's an older pool. That's what it is.
Yeah, what's up with that shit?
It sucks too, because like when you sit in a hot tub that has that kind of material, you can feel it getting caught on your bathing suit. Like on your bathing suit bottom, and like that's gonna ruin the material.
Oh yeah, my shorts were messed up.
Yeah.
Because one of my kids were like, "Hey, Dad, you got something hanging on your butt," and I'm like, "Why are you looking at my butt?" And I dismissed it, right? So then finally, I go take a shower and I take them off, and I'm like, "Oh shit, my ass was showing." Hey, look, you guys can't cancel me. Look, your preferred host just walked away. Doesn't even say anything. He just walks up, goes away. He's like, all right, take over. Take over. Nah, you guys are stuck with me. You can't cancel me. Oh, I love you guys. But you see, what we had was good discourse. We had, different views. We talked about it. And it wasn't no ring. Nobody was attacking nobody. We had a good discussion. And then we move on to the next topic. And that's what we should do as society. Us as being intellectual creatures, we should be able to have discourse. And knowledge and conversation shouldn't be one-sided.
Did you read the comments?
Yeah, beds are dangerous. Babies are made there. Yeah. Yeah, a lot less talky in the bedroom these days. So what else is going on in the news? I'm trying to think. That's about it. Elon Musk bought Twitter. Everybody's losing their shit about Twitter. He's memeing though. Did you see his memes? How he's just going in on Twitter. I think that's the reason why he bought it. I think he just wanted to say some crazy shit on Twitter and not get canceled or get not canceled. What does Twitter do? Block you.
So
right?
what has he been putting on Twitter?
Oh, his memes are great. You just gotta go on Twitter, go on and just see his timeline. It's hilarious. But he went after AOC. I think AOC said something to him, and then he went back and he's like, "Stop hitting on me. I'm shy." And then he's just posting like crazy memes. Oh, he said, "I'm gonna buy Coca-Cola next and put the Coke back in." This guy's hilarious. Then he started talking about Epstein, and I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna get snuffed out.
Oh Lord.
That's it. I was like, oh damn, you don't talk about Epstein. He was like, yo, we want to see the list. He was like, well, where's the client list? He's like, there was what's her name? Ghislaine Maxwell. Like her case was going, and this, it kind of was thrown under the rug. Nobody was talking about it. CNN once again, all these, news outlets weren't talking about it. And he was like, yo, let's see the client list. Because apparently, anybody who was anybody was on that list. And they won't put the list out. So.
But I thought they revealed the list. Well, the list that they revealed was like, everyone who visited the island.
It was the flight log. It was the flight log. But it was like she had the black book, the list of her clientele. That actually partook.
Okay.
And that list is you know, hush hush. So it's just, but you know what? Once again, I don't know if it was Trist or Fuzz, but they were like, they don't trust Elon either, and I get it. I don't trust him either. He's a billionaire, right? He's part of the organization. Maybe I've watched enough wrestling in my day to know that you got the face and the heel, right? So maybe he's just playing that role right now as the anti-hero, and everybody's cheering for him to get everybody in line. And then next thing you know, he does a billionaire thing, and it's like, oh, damn it, Elon. I had hope in you. You were the chosen one. Did you know what that reference was? You were the chosen one. Huh?
Matrix?
No. Star Wars. Star Wars, no.
I was way off.
Yeah.
You're a day early. Tomorrow's May the 4th.
Oh, yeah. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
And then the next day is Cinco de Mayo. What are you doing for Cinco de Mayo?
I don't know, but for May the 4th, I'm going to a
tacos?
Pay and Sip. Oh, I'm lying. I was going to a Pay and Sip. But everybody has the flu, so we're not going to the Pay and Sip.
Oh, I thought you said pee and sip. I was like, ew, what are you doing? Yeah, pee and sip.
That's awful. You should know that that's definitely not something I would ever go to.
I hope so. But you don't know this day and age.
They say never, but I would never go to one of those.
Ooh. So what do you say? You got a picnic tomorrow?
No, a paint and sip.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Supposed to be
what are you doing
Darth
for
Vader.
Cinco de Mayo?
I don't have plans for Cinco de Mayo. But like I said, I'm not gonna do this thing tomorrow, and I'm not gonna do anything for the Cinco de Mayo because we all have the flu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm supposed to be bedridden. I actually woke up this morning with a little bit of energy, so I started cleaning, started getting my house back in order.
Oh, you sound like such an old lady. Oh, I should have been bedridden. It's like, no, you shouldn't. You should get up and be a human and fight it. Mind over body.
Well,
I get that, but your mind has to be strong. You can't give in to sickness. You gotta be strong. You gotta have a strong mind. Be like, look, we're gonna get over this. And you'll get over it. Your body will be like, all right, let's do what we gotta do. Sounds to me like you got what's called the man flu.
What the hell's the man flu?
Apparently men, when they get sick, they're so dramatic and they're like, oh my God, I'm sick. Oh, I'm gonna stay in bed. I'm so sick.
No, I have the actual flu.
Uh-huh. You're not pumping it up? I need to be bedridden. I think you're saying you look perfectly fine. I think you probably just got a light cold and you just want to wear your nice robe. What's on your robe? It looks like cows.
No, they're sheep.
counting the sheep? Yeah. Are you counting them? Ooh.
Oh, bless you.
I think I'm getting allergies.
Oh, man. It's not from me. I'm not contagious this way.
Well, I know it's not from you. Well, you got me sick through the microphone? Through Zoom?
Yeah.
No, if I showed you the front of my house, I have this tree and all like I don't know what it is. It's not like leaves or whatever. It's just the little flowers. The little flowers are just everywhere. So the front of my house is all white. Okay. My truck is all white. I got another one that's like yellow, so my truck is white and yellow. I'm like, geez. Like, no wonder I'm going to be like sneezing all over the place here.
Yeah, it's that time of the year.
And they want to say that there's like no bees, but I get not only do I have bees by that one tree, so there's two trees. So when you walk out, there's a tree right in front of you. It has like white little flowers. And then there's like a tree to the side to my garage. Mm-hmm. And that one has like yellow ones. And that one is all covered by bees, and the bees are like huge. They're like the biggest bees I've ever seen.
Like bumblebees or regular bees?
Yeah, like bigger than those. No, bigger than bumblebees. Like they're big.
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, okay, they're saying that like there's a shortage of bees, but I'm like, geez, they're getting bigger.
Yeah, they say I've noticed that too, and not only have I noticed that there's a lot of bees, but I've noticed there's different variety of bees.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm seeing them all.
They're morphing. I feel like they're morphing. Like they're evolving.
Cross pollination.
These bees are evolving. But did you hear recently that that they released genetic modified mosquitoes?
What the hell?
Of course, I didn't read the article, so I don't know why they did it. But I was like, that's crazy. I started thinking, like, what are they doing? Like, why are they releasing these genetic modified mosquitoes?
Why? What the hell? That's what I want to know. Why wouldn't you read the article? That sounds interesting.
Left you on a cliffhanger. That's why. You got to do the work, and you got to do the work. I'm like reverse Oprah. Everybody got to do the work. Yeah, but yeah, they released. I think it was in Florida that they released these genetic modified mosquitoes. And of course, you hear like all the conspiracy theories, like, "Oh my God, they're infecting us with AIDS."
Yeah, what the hell?
Lynn's looking it up. Lynn's looking it up. Like, why?
Yeah, why?
I have no idea.
Says first round of them released. Why?
Where was it? Florida?
I'm reading. Oh, why would they have to have a picture of it all close up and shit? I don't want to see
The
that.
mosquito? Yeah. That's like when I said, like when you're like scared of something and you look it up, like why am I have this fear, and then they show you the picture of it.
Right.
Like if you was like, hey, arachnophobia, right? For you,
right?
They don't have no like this big ass spider.
Like why would you
do that?
Idiots, man, idiots. It's because they're watching us through the camera and they think it's hilarious when you throw your phone.
Oh, is that why your phone has a crack on it? You saw a spider?
Yeah, they're releasing them in California and Florida.
But they don't say the reason why, right?
They'll be non-biting, engineered to only produce viable male offspring. It'll reduce the number of invasive mosquitoes, which can carry diseases like Zika. So weird. Yeah. There we go. That was your answer.
So it was for our benefit.
Yeah.
Like, hey, they're gonna bite you less, so you don't get sick. So they say. Now, let me ask you this, Lynn. In this day and age, do you trust that?
No.
Do you trust that reasoning of why they did it? Or do you feel like, me personally, I feel like there's some kind of malicious intent.
Which
I don't know
crazy,
what.
because it says it right here. While these diseases aren't yet spreading in California, the invasive insect has been flagged as a growing risk. What?
So they're a carrier, but they're not spreading. And yet they went and modified these mosquitoes.
We have like so many other things that are much more important than spending millions of dollars on like fake mosquitoes. Like why? Why are you even doing that?
Well, that goes back to anything that like there's no rhyme or reason in anything that's being done nowadays. Like there's like what was it? The last thing I heard was like another $30 billion is going to Ukraine, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Nancy Pelosi just showed up at Ukraine like a few days ago. I'm like, if this isn't an active, like, first off, if this was an active war zone, like they're saying it is, why do we have one of our high politicians, elected officials over in Ukraine, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a few red flags. But then it's like, we're sending another $30 billion over there to help, a foreign country. And it's like, why don't we spend that $30 billion here? Mm-hmm. Like, I see videos all the time of just like California. Once again, California, there's a rampant homeless, crisis going on in California. Mm-hmm. And there's people showing videos of just like campments of like homeless people. And it's like, why don't we do something about that? Why don't we feed that money back into our own society?
Right.
It's weird. Politics is very weird.
All right, there
Yeah,
has to be a crazy delay on somebody's end because I just got Triss's comment. He said, "Yeah, it's a new strain. It's contagious over virtual calls." And I'm assuming it's the flu. But that was like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, when I sneezed, yeah, that was a while ago.
So I wonder if like they have a delay and they're just now seeing that part. So 20 minutes from now, he's gonna like realize that I'm responding to it.
That's crazy because when we get off, they're gonna be still watching for another 20 minutes. So when we get off, that's crazy. When we get off, we can then jump on and watch ourselves for another 20 minutes. Be like, oh, that's interesting. I like what this guy has to say. Oh. Well, then we're at the 11:45 mark, so we've been on almost 2 hours. If you want to cut it off so you can get some sleep, looks like you're tired. Recoup yourself. Are you having soup?
Nah, I should make myself some soup. That sounds good.
And
I got the 10-minute timer thingy. Fuzz doesn't have a delay.
Hey, that's fine. That is fine, Triss. If you want to fact check me, go right ahead. But one, I'm gonna question where you getting your facts from. Is it mainstream? Because Lynn found the article. She did find the article. They went back in and they revised it because the verbiage was misleading. But she found the article. You didn't. So where were you searching? Triss? And
he put too many. I only put the key words. He was very specific. He couldn't find it that way.
No, I don't want you. Listen. I don't want you to trust me. Don't trust me. Question me. Question everything. That's exactly what I want. I want everybody to be questioned.
Right? He trusted you.
No, don't trust me. That's it. I don't want you to trust me. I want to put doubt in everybody's mind. I want everybody to question CNN. I want people to question where they get their news from. I want everything to be questioned because that's what we need to do. We need to have open discourse and we need to question what is being fed to us because it's propaganda. It's all propaganda and we need to question it. So don't take my facts blindly. No. You're like, Ray said something crazy and then go look for it. And then after you go search at Google, search at DuckDuckGo, search it from another source, read it from another source, hear somebody else's take and dive into the conversation. Because then that's what's going to all make us, this is what scholars used to do.
Okay. Triss went to public records in California. It's actually really smart. He went right to the source.
Oh, shit. But you say, wow, okay. I applaud that because that's further than I would ever do.
Right.
I applaud that. You can access what's being filed and you can read it. Yeah, I've read, what was it? It was, what was it? There was something where it was like you could read the court cases and like I want to send that to people sometimes and I'm like I know they're not gonna read it.
Right.
Like I'll go in and read it, cool, because I like seeing that stuff sometimes. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna win an argument this way because they're not gonna read it. They're gonna be like, oh, fake news. I'm like, why? Because you couldn't read it.
You know what? And it's hard to understand. Like you really have to you have to interpret what you're reading when it comes to those like court cases because they have like that like
the
legal
the legal mumbo jumbo, yeah.
But you know what? It's important that we do it because when you need to do it, then you already have experience doing it.
Yes, and that goes back to the whole like our whole school system in the sense that we should have been taught that in school. Like I remember back in high school, we had a social studies class where we had mock trials. And we were like mock lawyers. We went through law and we did like basic like, hey, objection, Your Honor, and all this stuff. And we did like mock trials. And like, this is our law system. This is the system that judges us, right? If you do a crime, you may have to do the time. And the fact that we can't understand basic law, that's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
That's a problem in society. Like we can't do basic law. We can't do basic financing. We can't even do basic first aid. Like we, as a society, we need to reassess the stuff that we are teaching ourselves. Like, what are we taking the time to consume, right? Like, we should have a class. Like, when you go to high school should be teaching you like basic medical, right? Basic economics, basic law. Like, these are the stuff that should be in high school.
Right.
not all this other stuff that they want to, all this other propaganda stuff that they want to, put out there.
And that's when the debate comes in about like public school versus paying for private school, because when you go to private schools, their curriculum is completely different.
Right. So let me ask you this, Lynn. How do you feel about the argument that they say that funding for schooling, so like taxes, there's a portion of tax that goes to the local schools, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a group that's trying to put where that funding, instead of going to the schools, it goes to the parents. Mm-hmm. And the parents, are given a grant, and now they can choose where their kids go to school. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. Like, I would have to see what the options are for me to choose from.
Yes, and that's what the argument on the other side. So for me, it sounds dope. It's like, okay, wow, as a parent, you're giving me the choice. Mm-hmm. But then what they're saying is that now schooling is going to become commercialized. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have like Amazon school, right? Mm-hmm. Or Walmart school, right? And it's going to be more commercialized. And now these parents, they're like, why are you giving government money to a commercial entity? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of other programs that are like that. For example, food stamps, right? Food stamps, you get government money, you get a card, but you could use it at Walmart. You could use it at any store. Right. Right? So there's an example of how it's working. Like it's government money that's going back to, Walmart. Mm-hmm. So why not give parents the choice? Which I think it would make more of a competition, which would then build better programs. Mm. So these schools, like right now, schools got a monopoly on education, right? So they can push out whatever they want, whatever they deem. Oh, hey, this is going to be the program. Whereas if there's competition, maybe they become more aggressive with the education that's going out there, and there'll be better programs, right? Who wouldn't want to go to a school that teaches you finance, medical, basic law, right? Right. Like those are the stuff that that my kid is going to be well off for that. Mm-hmm. Let me send them to that school. And it goes back to the argument, like the rich are doing that. That's what the rich has, right? They have the money to send their kids to this private school, that private school. Whereas we're stuck with sending them to the public school in my district. Mm-hmm. Well, what if you live in a bad district, but you have Wi-Fi? Like, why should you be stuck to going to a subpar school when you have Wi-Fi and you can go to an online schooling that's better? I'm not saying like it's the best option, but it's just it's a better option than the local school, right? Mm-hmm. Ray, before you leave, check out a cool Japanese anime movie I saw called Pompeii the Chimney in theaters. Oh, is that the chimney dude? I love that movie. If it's the chimney guy, the garbage guy that was trash, that movie was awesome. I saw it with Ali, and I want to go see it again. It's like it was an amazing movie. Or is this another? Or I'm just getting the name confused. I think I might be getting the name confused. Let me look it up. Go ahead, Lynn. Keep talking, because now I'm distracted. You mentioned movies. Squirrel. Oh, yeah. It's a different movie. All right, cool. Yeah, I started getting back with, it's been more anime like shows with my kids. So there was one that I used to watch back in the day when I was really into cars, and it was called Initial D. So it's like a Japanese animation. They're doing street racing, and they're doing like Tokyo drifting and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So we've been watching that, and they've been loving it. Cool. And then there's other ones. I think it's like Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia, and Lynn's like looking at me like, stars.
No, Alex is into anime. So we always have different animes going here, but My Hero Academia is one of them we watch. Of course, I can't remember the other one right now, but we have some anime going on over here. When I was young, I liked Inuyasha. I was into Sailor Moon. That was like my first
introduction to it.
Yeah.
That was more Americanized though, right? Sailor Moon.
It was.
Was that actually anime? No, it was like
I don't think it was. I don't.
It was
think it
in that
anime.
style, but it was more. I think it was like an American studio that did that, right?
I don't know who made them, but I know it is different than like anime. Like the kind of anime that my son's watching now is it's more of what I would consider anime.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, Tris, yes. And this is what healthy conversation looks like. I hope everyone feels heard and acknowledged. Yes, and that's one thing that I do want to stress with this. Look, I'm not always going to be right. I'm always wrong, whatever. That's fine. That's my opinions. Everything is based off of my opinions. And I hope to have the conversation because I knew bringing this conversation up, I knew people were going to have their opinions. I knew Lynn was stuck on hers. And it's the fact that we could just talk about it is what we need to have more in society. And I hope everybody was heard. I hope, if anybody felt attacked, it's not my intentions. Like I try to do things with lightheartedness, right? I do try to bring humor into the conversation because it kind of levies up the tension, right? Because I think that's what it is. Like people go from 0 to 100 a lot with a lot of these conversations. And it's like then laws get passed.
Oh no. Oh no. I wonder if he knows that Zoom just cut us off. Oh, he does. Oh no.
I got canceled. I got canceled.
Enough of what Ray is talking about.
Shut this guy up. Cancel him. I got murked. It was funny too because I saw the warning too. It was like your free session has ended. I was like, didn't we just back out of this? Mm-hmm. Oh, that was hilarious. Oh, I love it. I got murked.
But yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We want to have conversation and talk about tough topics and make it okay to do that, to have open,
yes,
like you say, discourse.
Right, and the same way like we had the conversation and it got heated, then we just go and talk about the next thing. Hey, let's talk about movies. Let's talk about anime. It's like that's how it should be. Like this conversation that we had here is what most people do with their friends, right? Family, people that they trust. And unfortunately, when it gets presented at the main stage, it's like it's either you go with this side or this side, and now Civil War.
It's black or white. There is no talking about it. There is no gray area. It's just it is what it is. Either you're for it or you're against it. Boom. Right.
And then another thing with what SCOTUS is about to do, if they do it, I think another thing came out saying that they're investigating the leak, but they're going to move forward with it. Like, yes, this is on the table. But even if they do revert it, right? Now, our politicians, next presidential debate, this does not need to be a topic anymore. Now we could talk about some pressing issues, the bigger issues, like the economy, like misinformation that's going on right now, right? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of other stuff that is pressing. Like we need to talk about all this stuff because we are affected by it. The system guy. Oh, that's hilarious. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna rant. Cut me off. All right, so we're at the 2-hour mark. Go ahead and reintroduce the show for any watchers. I know we had a comment that somebody was in, but we were in the middle of a rant. I didn't tell them to comment below and welcome.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago. They're long gone. I know that. If they change the rules, it helps the Democrats. This is their sacred cow. Yes. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. But you know what? Something like this with what SCOTUS is doing, it kind of gives me hope. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a diehard Republican or all this stuff. I don't even align with the Republicans. Like, I hope that instead of us like the pendulum swinging to one extreme to the other, I hope at some point we can kind of get in the middle and then kind of find balance. So it's like right now, yes, the Democrats are in charge and they're doing a lot of crazy things. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, why are they doing that? And then, the Republicans take over, they're going to do a bunch of crazy things. And it's like, I hope at some point we could just find some kind of balance to kind of like just balance everything, where both sides feel like they're losing or both sides feel like they're winning. You know?
Yeah.
It's like I feel honestly, I think we should get rid of both parties. I think we should just get rid of the parties or introduce a third option. It's like two sides that are like determining, you know, all our lives. It's crazy.
I am not going to reintroduce the show. We were actually going to go into our closing.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so do you have anything else you want to share today? Anything else on your mind?
No, it was, like I said, it was a good discussion. I think hopefully all sides were heard. Mm-hmm. And if not, then we'll try to be more open next time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, something I want you to carry with you throughout the day is just have the confidence to, stand by your beliefs, stand by your thoughts, and feel empowered to be able to share them. You know, we're all entitled to opinions.
But also be open to hear other opinions. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you guys. Thank you for the comment.
Thank you so much for joining again.
And we'll see you on Thursday. Hopefully Thursday, Lynn. Just real quick, I got a dentist appointment on Thursday. So you want to go early again?
We can.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.